Drew.
And I'm Daphne Blake. And this is 6 Minutes.
Today on 6 Minutes, we'll be talking about The Cold Kiss by John Rector. It's about a couple who was on a run from their past. Daphne, what did you think about the book?
I thought it was a very good read, but I also thought it was very predictable. And I could tell the ending before I even finished the book. What did you think, Nancy?
Well, I thought it was a great thriller, and I couldn't even put the book down. So, Daphne, tell us more about the book.
Well, The Cold Kiss is about a couple, Nate and Sarah, who are running away from their hometown of Minnesota to Reno, Nevada. And on the way, a man named Sil gives them $500 to take them from Medina all the way to Omaha, Nebraska. So they take the $500 and go to and end up getting stuck in a motel where bad things happen.
So what theme do you think John Rector was trying to get across when he was writing this book?
I think the theme John Rector was trying to get across is that money can force people to do bad things and go against their morals.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of times in this book, bad things happen, and it was all because of people's greed for money.
You're right. A time that they were greedy was whenever Zach said whenever he got out of prison he found God. But really, whenever money started getting involved, he used God as an excuse to do bad things because he said God was telling him to do whatever it takes to get the money.
Yeah, I think John Rector used a lot of religious references. Even one time they were listening to the radio and listening to a Bible story.
The story that was playing during the blizzard was the story of Cain and Abel, which is about someone who Cain kills Abel because Abel had something Cain didn't have. So that's just what Zach did in the book. I think John Rector used the Bible as a relationship with this book because even though they were doing bad things and they thought it was good, they just used it as an excuse to get away with the bad things.
I think I relate to Caroline because she's very curious and she wanted to solve the crime, and of course I nature Drew, I would want to solve the crime too.
I think I relate to Nate because I like to fix problems and make sure everything works out like it is supposed to. But on the other note, I also don't relate with Nate because I wouldn't go against my morals to get money.
I didn't really relate to Sarah because I don't trust people easily like she did when she gave Sil a ride and she didn't even know him, which eventually led to some very bad things.
Now, a little backstory to the book and the author. The book is written by John Rector, who he now currently lives in Omaha, Nebraska, which Sil was hitching a ride to with Sarah and Nate.
John has lived in cold places his whole life, and so has Nate. And Nate said in the book that going back to Minnesota made him feel like he couldn't breathe. So I think John felt the same way about cold places. This novel is fiction, but it's a little bit of mystery, a little bit of thriller, and a lot of romance.
All mixed together in one pot.
So Daphne.
A personal connection I had with the book is that, just like Sarah, her parents wanted one thing and she wanted another, just like I had.
Well, for me, a connection I had is one time I got stuck in a hotel and we had to use candles because the power was out, just like they did in the book. John Rector had a unique writing style. Usually authors will build up to action-packed moments, but John Rector just blended them into the story. So much that I even had to go back and reread some of the parts to make sure I read it right.
John Rector showed every thought that Nate had, which gave an insight to what he was feeling and what was going on and what he would do next. It made the story very climatic.
Yeah, he kept me on my toes the whole time, and there was no time where there was a slow point. Here on 6 Minutes, we rate our books from 1 to 10 fingerprints. I rated The Cold Kiss 9 fingerprints because it was a great book, but I didn't like the ending because it didn't really say what happened to them or if they split up or anything.
I rated the book with 7 fingerprints because I thought it was a very predictable book and I knew the ending before it even ended. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Thank you for joining us tonight on 6 Minutes. Please join us next week to talk about Nancy Drew's newest upcoming book. Have a great night.
John.
Two.
What theme? People were doing decisions.